Good morning. NNAMDI. Ndewo.
Like he said, if you want to hide anything, that just say that forming one group elsewhere and say you are fighting for Biafra. When you have a government that has proven that they are the only legitimate voice that is fighting for the freedom of Biafrans. So Nigeria thought that nobody will ever call them to account for their crime. So Nigeria was deceived by themselves, having blocked United Nations, having blocked African Union, having blocked ECOWAS. ECOWAS, that one they have already put them in their armpit. The National Criminal Court everywhere. However, it never came to their mind at all that United States will ask questions. It never came to their mind. When they suddenly wake up from their stupidity, what did he do? It hurriedly paid huge sums of taxpayers' money for lobbying. When Nigeria woke up, so we are now being called to account for our crimes. In that confusion, they hurriedly paid a huge sum of money to lobbies. And before each lobbies could make any move, the brigade was already there in the international arena, controlling the narrative and briefing those that matter of the evil Nigeria represents. So Nigeria suddenly woke up and said, so we can be called upon to account for our crimes. They hurriedly put up lobby. And before they make that move, brigade was already there, talking and engaging those who matter. And like Elias we said, he called it a master stroke. Elias, our lobbyists, call it a master stroke. We went ahead of them. What a shame to a disgraced country. What a shame. Let's move into our topic now. In fact, my tutor and my lecturer she has already done justice to this topic. Tutors have already done justice to this topic. In fact, our Honorable Minister of Information and Communication has adequately dealt with this topic. So there should be no need to talk about this topic. But you know one thing, like our leader said, he said, black man, didn't think. They will never hear. It will enter into one ear and then it will pass through the other ear. And that will be the end of it. Neither will they ever read. Like he said, if you want to hide anything, that just say that you want to hide anything from the black man, hide it in a book. So that's why we are saying, okay, let's keep repeating it. Let's keep sounding it. Probably they will wake up and hear and be able to understand what brigade has done. That's why we are trying to talk on this space again, because tutors have dealt with it. Our Minister of Finance, Minister of Information and Communication has adequately handled this. Sometimes the only way to help them, the black man, especially the zoo and my fellow Biafrans, it's a continuous repetition. So that is why we are taking another shot on this topic today. So our topic of discourse is Nigeria Religious Freedom and Accountability Act of 2026. Briggy vindicated. Briggy vindicated. Briggy has been vindicated. For us to have a meaningful and smooth sell, it will be necessary for us to have an overview. Let's again have an overview of what this bill contains. Like I said, tutors have done justice to this, our Minister of Information have done justice to this. But let's keep repeating it. Probably the black mind that our people possess will listen and give honor to whom honor is due. Give Brigade the honor that is due to it for what they have done and what they are doing. And I hope that woman, that's one particular woman, they call it Nneka, Lolo Nneka, then Nnemeka, something like that, she'll come to realize what Brigade is doing. Every time she's calling on IPOB. Where is IPOB? I mean the registered IPOB. I don't mean the natural indigenous people of Biafra, which all of us belong to. I mean the registered IPOB and the so-called what's their name now? Their department, the Directorate of State. You keep on hammering on it. I wish you should get sense. Come and get sense and see what Brigade is doing. There is no document that can show that either everyone went to sleep after NNAMDI Kanu's abduction. They went to sleep. They went to sleep. It is now that he's been in prison. That's when they are trying to behave as if they are still alive. You see. So, the Nigerian Religious Freedom and Accountability Act of 2026, like we already know, the sponsors, and these are sponsors, these are people that our brigade has already met. Let's take note of this so that we can be able to give honor to whom honor is due. It is not Emma who met them. Neither is it Ngozi. I don't know how many she can give us at least three or four senators or house members that is properly documented that she has met. There is none. So give honor to whom honor is due. So sponsored by Chris Smith, which we are aware, Chairman House Foreign Affairs, African Subcommittee, Rep. Relemore, we know, which is a Republican supporter. So what is the primary aim? And there are other people that also, you see, but what is the primary aim of this bill? What is the purpose of this bill? The bill requires the U.S. Secretary of State to produce a comprehensive annual report to the U.S. Congress. That is what Nigeria, that's why we asked the question we asked. So Nigeria never knew that a day will come when they will be called to account. So this bill is now saying it required the U.S. Secretary of State. And I trust Mark Rubin. That man, I really trust him. He's just good at that job. He's just good at that job. And he doesn't care. He will give it to you just as it is. So, to prepare a comprehensive annual report, comprehensive, whatever it is, whatever Nigeria has been hiding over time, everything has to be properly scrutinized and well presented, documented and presented. The bill also assesses U.S. actions to combat religious persecution and mass atrocities in Nigeria. These are things they never thought anybody would raise their voice and ask a question. Reviews Nigerians' compliance. You see, in Nigeria, sometimes when they set up a commission, that time they set it up, that's after that, that's the end of it. But we're talking about this bill is asking that it's not just today, but continuously making sure Nigeria complies with international religious freedom standards. So they have entered one charge. It's not like they are saying, Nigeria, stop this. No. There's going to be a system on ground to continuously monitor whether what this bill has set out to achieve, whether Nigeria actually is complying. Recommend sanctions and accountability based on responses. Let's continue with the overview. The Nigeria Religious Freedom and Accountability Act of 2026, which, like I said, was introduced in the House, U.S. House of Representatives. Well, that was on February 10, which we are very much aware, 2026. And we know how the people that introduced it. The names are very well documented. So this bill aims at addressing ongoing, take note of that, ongoing, because Nigeria have never stopped. Ongoing religious persecution, mass atrocities in Nigeria, particularly against Christians, by requiring the U.S. Secretary of State to submit an annual comprehensive report to the Congressional Foreign Affairs Committee on U.S. efforts to combat these issues. It emphasizes using necessary tools to mount pressure. Necessary tools to mount pressure. We're going to look at those tools. Our tutors have even done with those tools to mount pressures on Nigeria government to end impunity. Nigeria is a place where, like this clip I played, a full-grown father of a family was weeping and crying. That Nigeria every day, when you wake up, all the news you hear is killing. So Nigeria is being called upon now. Put pressure on the Nigerian government to end impunity, protect vulnerable communities. And this one suits me very well. Repeal blasphemy laws. And I know they won't. That one, they will fall into that trap. Because already they have held a press conference saying that is our law, that's our religion. We are free to enact whatever law our religion permits us to. I know they are not going to. They are going to fall in that very trap. So the bill is also asking them to repeal blasphemy laws. And these people, their heart is hardened. You know, the Bible says, "He that often being reproved, but hardened his heart, will suddenly be destroyed." And that destruction, there will be no remedy. And that's what's going to happen to them. So they have set a trap for them by giving them hard conditions, difficult conditions, which they know they will not implement. Tell me that these Fulanis will one day come and say a blasphemy law has been repealed or abolished. Tell me, in your own wildest imagination, do you think they will be able to do it? Before I continue, I want somebody to speak on this. Do you think this particular one I just mentioned now, to repeal blasphemy laws and to facilitate the return of displaced persons, so these are two hard conditions for these people, because these are their primary objectives: one, to Islamize the nation, to displace the entire regional population, occupy their land, change the names of their cities and their villages and their towns. Now, this bill is now aiming at asking them repeal those laws, blasphemy laws, those Sharia law. Say, come openly and say it's no longer existing. Repeal it, and then relocate all those IDPs, those people who have found themselves in the IDPs, whom we have chased away from their villages and towns. Do you think Nigeria will be able to comply with this? This hardened Muslims, Islam. Do you think they are going to comply with this? This bill has set a trap. This bill has set a trap which they must fall in. Yes, I can see two hands. My co-host, please coordinate this, please.
All right, please let mommy go because before I will come in. But shortly, if you ask me, those bills that act, I don't think that these people are done that with. They don't understand. You really need to for you to bend an iron, you need to hit it very hard. So, mommy, you have the mic. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, my brother. You see, the Bible said something about the rich man giving up his wealth. He likened it to having the camel pass through the eye of a needle. That's the same thing. They repealing those laws is like asking a whole camel to pass through the eye of a needle. They can't do it. You know why? Like they say, the leopard cannot give up its spots. These people are used to it. To them, it's a done deal. If you want them to repeal, then it means they have to change Sokoto back to Gobe, which was the original name. They test run their thing with the Hausa states, and it worked for them. So to them, it's just business as usual. So they cannot stop what they are used to. It's part of their DNA. They've already taken Sokoto, Gobe, and changed the name to Sokoto, planted their caliphate, and it's working perfectly well. They moved on with the help of Obasanjo, which I'm so happy God left him alive so he can see what he did. Just like Gowon is seeing what he did, including Danjuma and the other one that is on wheelchair. They will all see what they did. So they cannot change those laws because to them it's a done deal. You already have 12 states that are practicing Sharia. Gideon, wasn't everybody there when they used the Sharia law to kill him? Among other people, the most recent, Deborah. So to them, it is already working. It is already natural. So they cannot change. Even the people who gave them the condition already know they cannot change. So if it's a trap, it's not a trap, but if it's a trap, they're already in the middle of it. There's no going back in it. So they will never, never, that is the last thing they will do. Now, am I not hearing that the Zerubado, whoever imported a chemical weapon, Erufai is screaming his head off on that now. So they cannot reverse.
No.
They
Remember,
are like a truck, a full loaded truck coming down the hill with no brakes. You know it's down the valley. So they will never change. Thank you.
all right. Thank you very much, mommy. Love. Remember that our audience said that they are already marked for destruction. So you just answered it very correct. So they will never change anything. So just like that, we know that they are already marked for destruction. We are just only expecting to see that destruction. We don't know how it's going to look like. But we hope that we just make sure that the destruction will be very, very massive for them, according to the way that they have succeeded in, committing all these heinous crimes against the innocent citizens in that contraction report. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm still coming out because I'm in the subway. I don't know. But my host, if you are there, please, I will ask you to just please bear with me while I have a stable network to come in. Thank you.
Hello? Is my voice coming out?
Yeah, please, my network
So
is
we
unstable because I'm on a subway.
There will be a change. I don't know what they're thinking. They will never change because they are already used to that arrogant, delusional belief that that evil forest belongs to them. So they will never give up. So it's up to our people, if they are smart as they claim to be, to understand that Nigeria is like water, a cup of water that already spilled on the ground. You know, thinking and hoping that you're going to pick it up and put it back in the cup so you can get a drink is the worst thing any person can think about. So thinking that will be a new Nigeria where things are going to be normal, oh my God, can you get blood out of cucumber? The answer is no. So knowing the truth, what are we supposed to do as human beings? Is to come together under our government. Thank God that we have a functioning government. Line up with our government, fund our freedom, because we're in a liberation phase. We must fund our freedom. Somebody coming to help us cannot be the one to fund it. Oh, what happened to me? Oh, okay, I'm still here. So somebody coming to help, give us a helping hand, should not be responsible, 100%. Our people should stop having a lamajiri brain, thinking that our helper will be responsible for our liberation. They are coming to help us. Help, that's what it is. Ndị ya aka. Onye bịara inyere gị aka ịrụ ọrụ abụghị anwụ ọrụ. Ọ bụ onye nwe mmụọ ndị ire, mmụọ ya dị. Having that we don't care, we are not ready, they will just go back and rest themselves. So when we say your freedom is your hand, it means you have to show a practical proof that you need freedom. No? And then work for it. When somebody see you're making effort and you need help, they will come and help you, not when you're sleeping. Okay? So Biafrans must come out, fall under the existing functional government, and get their freedom. Biafra is here already. I yield my mic.
yes. Thank you so much, my honorable minister and my co-host. Thank you so much. I agree with your submission, because now the bill is will be demanding that the Sharia law be repealed, and like we said, to them this is the law from their God. So it will now be as if a man is telling them to disobey their God, and you know how they behave. So at the end of the day, what has happened or what will happen? It's just like what US is telling Iran, that make a deal. Of course, they know they won't make that deal. So sometimes you have to make sure you operate within the law. So that you have to make sure that whatever you want to do, you have given alternative, you are giving chance to the person you want to deal with, and also you have tried to negotiate, as it were. So when US is telling, US president is telling Iran, make a deal, they know that they won't make any deal. They won't know, they won't make any deal. And what they want to do, they have already planned it. So at the end of the day, Nigeria has the market. Nigeria has bought in the Nigerian palace, the language they use. Now you don't buy market. They have bought market. You see, so definitely they will not repeat those laws. So that's one of the things this bill is demanding, that the Sharia law be completely abolished. And you and I know that these people will not. You know that they will not. So we are going to now look at what the Congress discovered. What the Congress discovered that actually, in the language, when I was looking at the bill, I look at it, I saw congressional findings. Their findings. This is American lawmaking language. Congressional findings. What they discovered that now inspired the sponsors of this bill. And look, when we are beginning to look at these things they discovered, these are the things that Briggy has been tabling and talking about. These are the things, because it's one thing to make protests on the street. It's one thing to also shout and cry, just like the Burning people have been crying, and other people have been crying, and even we Biafrans have been shouting and crying. But it's another thing to systematically make a documentation of these things and present it in a manner that it will receive international attention, or it will receive attention from the appropriate quarters. That's one thing that Briggy has successfully achieved. Yes, PIBOB Nigeria Limited have been doing whatever, but have you followed the recognized diplomatic channel that can earn you attention from the appropriate quarters? Have you? So we are looking at this bill and how Briggy has been vindicated. So what is this finding that the Congress has found? What is it that inspired this bill? What is it that they discovered that made this bill become necessary? There's a proverb in Igbo that's Efine Nwegi Odo na Chia na Achore Eji. Yes, it's like the whole thing became a hopeless situation in the zoo, and even in Biafra land, it became like a hopeless situation. Look at our leaders: Mazi kidnapped, Simon silenced. So it just like became as if it was a hopeless situation. But yet there are issues that needed to be addressed, and nobody to address it. And what are these things that were the findings of the Congress? What that inspired this bill? And sometimes it's very unfortunate that people will be undergoing a extermination, and just a few group of people will be in control, and people will be completely helpless. And so that's what we are seeing today. Help coming from far away. Look at the thing they discovered, that systematic religious persecution has persisted. Underline the word persisted. What we are dealing with, the cry our shout and our pains to have not, it's not something that started yesterday. It's something that have persisted, like my minister took us back to history. It has persisted. These are the findings that inspired this bill. That systematic religious persecution has persisted in Nigeria since at least, let's just be not go too far. 2009, including mass murder, kidnappings, rape. I don't know whether we can remember when our leaders, Martin and KANU, was still on Radio Biafra. There was this video I watched, a girl that went to fetch water, a lady that went to fetch water in the stream, and she was being raped in tons by these Fulani bandits. I don't know who can remember that video. I saw it long time ago. That girl went to fetch water, and these people were hiding somewhere, and they began to rape her in tons. So these things have persisted. What I'm saying happened long time ago. And there's another one that happened, which our leader was so infuriated that led to the institution of ECN. This lady that was butchered, and then her part was mutilated and shared apart in the farm. So this has been a consistent and persistent situation we have found ourselves. Rape, village destruction, and forced displacement of persons perpetrated by Boko Haram, the Islamic State, West Africa province, ISWA, Fulani militant groups, and other. The bill is this. I'm talking about the bill now, mentioning these names, and you know, sometimes one begin to wonder how this Fulani minority group could hold the whole entire people hostage. And it pleases me that this bill was able to pinpoint and mention them. And today they are crying all over the place, saying, why profiling us? Why? But these are the things you have been doing, and nobody said anything. You had a field day. So I'm so glad that this bill specifically pinpointed Fulani militant groups and other extreme organizations. Somebody was on the one of them were on the Nigerian media talking about why the Fulani, what are the Igbos who are killing themselves in and I said, come on. How do I compare you with those who are legitimately asking for self-determination to your terrorist group? So I look at it and say, these people, sometimes they are completely bereft of knowledge. So these things are doing all over the place. They don't have number 6. So another thing the Congress found that the estimate, the number of people that have been killed, that's just what the Congress is looking at, what they found. And these are the things we have been shouting and crying, that 50,000 to 120,000 Christians have been martyred between 2009 and 2025, with more than 19 churches, Christian churches, attacked and destroyed. Now imagine a situation where in a particular country, 19,000 churches destroyed, and nobody said anything. No state of emergency, government did nothing. These are the things we have been suffering. It did not start today. It did not start today. So Nigeria brought over every voice that would have raised concern, or would have called them to order, or would have called them to account over the years. And these things continue to take place. And the bill is now asking also, discover that Fulani ethnic militia in Nigeria, including network of armed groups, engage in organized attacks on civilian communities. And these have been carried out repeatedly. And this thing is demanding that statutory definition. There have to be this Fulani, the bill is now specifically mentioned that this Fulani militia has to be statutory designated. That one suits me, because sometimes the IPOB was just going on the street, going to stadium to pray, going to churches to pray with their flag and this thing from nowhere. they just designated IPOB terrorist group, hoping that nothing will happen, and let it be so. Then start killing them, because when you are designated a terrorist group, the next thing is to eliminate you, because you're a terrorist. That's what it means. So they just did that. But what has happened now? The table has turned. So this bill is designed to, at the passing of this bill, one of the resultant effects is that this Fulani militia, these headers, will now be designated as foreign terrorist organization. This one, I really like it. I really like it. I really like it. I really like it. And they are now running helter-skelter. Like you said, they are accusing themselves. Now, Rebadu is at war with El-Rufai. And they are all Fulanis. That's one thing that happens. At the end of the day, this is what will result to. You begin to accuse one another, because you know there will be no escape for any one of them. These militias have conducted attacks involving targeted killings, hostage takings, hijackings, armed assaults, massacres of civilians, destruction of property, and forced disappearance, displacement of populations. These are the things the bill is. They dug deep to make sure that nothing escaped. And by the time we are going to look at some of the sections of the document that Briggy presented, our current Prime Minister presented, you will begin to see, why you must give accolade, why you must give honor to Briggy, why you must come and support Briggy, why you must come under this umbrella ourselves. In any splinter group, it doesn't make sense. Unless you want to be in the same level of reasoning with the Fulanis, it doesn't make sense at all. And the Congress also found out that between May 2023 and May 2025, this same Fulani ethnic militia has carried out major massacres in different parts of, in particular, Benue, Plateau, Southern Kaduna, Taraba. Just keep naming it. And the bill specifically mention attacks on Umogidi, Bata, the Christian Eve massacre of 2023 and 24, and the Holy Week and the Easter attacks of 2024 and 25. Killing. So when these things were going on, nobody, even though Nigerian media were silent, it was as if nobody will ever know what was going on. Like what happened in Kaduna recently, we were told that the villagers, the chairman of the local government told the villagers, keep quiet, don't say anything. And this is the way they have planned to eliminate everybody, by silencing everybody who voice. But there's always a time of reckoning. Always a time of reckoning. And these were unprovoked attacks. And that's where the painful aspect of this. Sometimes you can be justified if you are provoked. But what will have been happening, these killings, these things are unprovoked. What, like the video clip, the man was asking when he was crying, he said, what have we done? How have we done? What do they want of us? There is none of these instances you will say this was provoked. There is none. None was provoked. So you can see that this was a systematic, planned, age-long agenda. Age-long agenda to eliminate, to destroy a particular people and take over their land. These acts are carried out by these militants with militias with the intention to intimidate, coerce, and displace civilians, populations, disrupt local government and local governance, and assert control over territory. Actions that meet the criteria for designation as terrorist, foreign terrorist organization. So the Congress has found out, the sponsors of this bill have made research and discovered that at the end of the day, the actions of these Fulani militias, so-called, meet the statutory criteria for designation as a foreign terrorist organization. Not like IPOB, who have done nothing and they hurriedly designated them as foreigner. So this one is going through scrutiny, and at the end of the day, the bill will be passed. Now, the other thing is the expansion of these militias undermines United States national security and foreign policy interests. You know, our former prime minister used to say it, said, when this terrorist is born in Nigeria and incubated in Nigeria and nursed in Nigeria, it doesn't just end there. It doesn't just end there. The target is where? America West. So America is also wading in. This bill is also it has become so necessary because what is happening in Nigeria today is a threat to United States. It will undermine United States national security and foreign policy interests. So there is no escape. This is a well-researched work that the sponsors of this bill did. This bill will be passed because they did a very good work. And these informations were what Briggy has been putting on the public space. These informations were what Briggy has been crafting from the days of our leader, former Prime Minister. That whatever is happening in Nigeria today is not just about Nigeria. The target is death to America, death to Israel, death to Europe. That's the target. They were only looking for a safe haven, a country with vast resources, so that they will have access to unlimited resources to be able to achieve this age-long, and I say age-long agenda to Islamize and to Fulanize. You can imagine, Honorable Minister, can you imagine you wearing hijab now? Or Stella, my senior student, can you imagine you wearing hijab and your daughters wearing hijab as
It's not going to happen, though. It's not going to happen.
And your husband beating you and beating you anyhow, and said that is the law of Allah.
No, sir.
And our daughters being, and at the age of 0 age. Can you imagine what these people planned? And that is more reason why you don't hesitate. Whether you yourself for IPOB, whether you call yourself for whatever, no more hesitation. Come now and support Briggy, who is now the deliverer. Come now. Please, somebody should hold on for me. I'm coming, please.
Last. Anyway, what we are saying here is, I personally know how their friends are by nature. Biafrans, the real Biafrans, will never allow themselves to be converted. No. Biafrans will rather die. I'm talking about real Biafrans. I'm not talking about the look-alike type of Biafrans. The same way real Biafrans prefer to drown themselves in Atlanta, Georgia, many, many, many years ago, instead of being somebody's slave. Some of us will go to that length. But it wouldn't go that part because we are going to exit that evil forest alive to save ourselves and to save the next generation. Because I can see myself wrapped up like a package, walking down the block like a ghost. No, it's not going to happen. And the God who made me will not allow it to happen. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it first for me. If it affects you, you're just an innocent bystander, but primarily not for you. So each of us have to take this personal. Not until you take this fight personal, you are not going to last. Not until you take this fight personal, you are going to be sitting on the fence. Even after the fence have collapsed, you will still be standing there in your imaginary world, thinking that you'll be safe. Look at reality. When those knuckleheads show up, they don't even ask you if you are planning to believe them. They don't ask you where you came from. They don't ask you your name. If there's any question to be asked, it will be recite their prayer, which they know you can't. But they are asking you so that they will have something to hold on to against you. Ndị Igbo sị, "Ị kwesịrị iji ọfọ n'ogu." So to them, they are giving you chance to give them reason to eliminate you. They already know you don't know their prayer. They already know there's no way you can recite what you don't know. So the disclaimer there is recite whatever they recite. And I know it's not our Lord's Prayer. So they can hold on to that to eliminate you. That is in a good day when they have time to ask you a question. But ordinarily, no questions asked. In the first place, you don't look like them. A typical Biafran doesn't look like a Fulani. That's how we can, even you're walking down the block, you can easily identify a Biafran. Put a Yoruba, a Hausa, a Fulani, an Igbo man in one room. You can easily separate them just by mere looking at them. Before the Civil War, from the way somebody is dressed, you know where the person is coming from. They don't have to say a word. Just look at the way they dress. Again, look at their face. You will know where they came from. Since after the war, they say one Nigeria, where outfits get crossed over. In fact, some Biafrans now prefer wearing the Hausa outfit or Yoruba outfit instead of their own. They will, that's one thing with Biafrans, like Onyendu put it. Whatever they put their hand, they will beat you, the original owner, in it. You know, anything they want to do, good, bad, and ugly, they become the champion. But that notwithstanding, because many Biafrans think that money can buy me love. No, money can't buy you love. No way. Look at Jonathan. When he was president, what did he do? How many schools did Jonathan build in his own community? I don't think he did. But there's news everywhere how many Alamajiri schools he built in the north. Because he wanted to be a good man. Money can't buy you love. Our people go out there, whatever money they earn, they want to buy favor from the Yorubas. You develop their place, you do everything, you go to the north, you develop everything. That was Zeke's mentality. Zeke was born in Zengeru. Zengeru is not Igbo land. Maybe he ate some fura dununu or whatever they call it, and he thought he arrived. He wanted everybody to be in the same basket. Where did it leave him? Our people need to learn that history was taken out of school. They did not take your brain along with it. Come on now. You came from a family. Zeke's issue is not ancient history. Obi is not ancient history. The same stick is poking on your eyes every day. It's been so long that even foreigners have identified it as a pattern. Still, you have some Biafrans that are still telling you in 2026, oh, that's okay, it's not going to happen. Oh, that's okay, we are smart. Oh, that's okay, I have money. Are you stupid? Nigeria Religious Freedom and Accountability Act of 2026 is trying to help those hard-headed Biafrans to acknowledge and admit reality. To an extent, to Nigerians, to acknowledge reality. There's a video going around. Oh my goodness, I don't even know the name of the person who made that video. Putting Nigeria in plain sheet of paper so that people can see it. You know, giving you a true picture of what Nigeria looked like. I thank the US lawmakers for bringing out this Accountability Act. Maybe that will help some foolish people to see themselves and acknowledge the truth and stop lying. Ndị Igbo sị, onye ụgha agha ha efu. Because the day Okweterela, he's missing his things, he will be able to stop it or recover the lost ones. But he continued lying and his things continue to be missing. Maybe this law will help those people, I don't know where they came from, to see the truth and believe it, because only the truth will set them free. Since they can't identify what they are looking at, maybe this act will help them see the truth and acknowledge it and redeem their pitiful souls. So yes, the act is a good one. And what they are saying is the truth and nothing but the truth. But is Nigeria going to back off? No. Because they are mapped out for destruction. So nothing will make them retract their steps. If they do, that means they are not going to be destroyed. So they will continue, just like the ancient Pharaoh. They will continue to pursue the children of God. But there's a Red Sea waiting for them. But any Biafran who have misplaced their brain and continue hoping for a better Nigeria, you will be part of the destruction. And maybe after you're being destroyed, you will admit the truth. But if you're a good Biafran, I will suggest for you to leave that fence, because there ain't no fence. You are leaning on imaginary fence. Come and join your government. Fund your freedom. That's the only way out. Forget about we passed a bill. The cabinet passed a bill for 4-day working week. Hello, in whose land? Where does it happen? And they copy everybody. That's an illusion. If you're in that basket, you are just like water in a basket. If you're with the other educated morons that don't need a lawyer, that don't need a lobby, now they are hiring lawyer. I really like that man when he told them to go and pray. Oh my God, yes, you should go and pray. You guys claim to be Christians. Go and pray. While you're praying, your head will be on the ground, spinning. If you don't want to be in that camp, come out. That is
Day one. Day one. Day one. Day one. Day one.